Imagine for a moment that you find yourself in a room of absolute silence. Everything around you seems calm, still, almost frozen in time. But within you, there is a noise, a constant murmur that refuses to be ignored. That sound is your unconscious mind trying to communicate something important, something essential for your well-being. Throughout our lives, we often dismiss this inner calling. The external world demands our attention. It is loud, urgent, and relentless. We get caught up in daily routines, social expectations, and the pursuit of success, all while neglecting the most fundamental aspect of our existence, our connection with ourselves. But what happens when this disconnection begins to take a toll? What happens when the noise inside grows louder, demanding to be heard? The renowned Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung dedicated his life to exploring the mysteries of the human psyche, and his message is clear. What you choose to nurture within yourself defines everything you experience in the external world. There comes a decisive moment in every person's life, a moment where we must choose between our inner peace and the relationships that surround us. It is not an easy decision. From an early age, we are conditioned to prioritize external acceptance, to mold ourselves into what society expects of us. We are taught that maintaining peace with others is an act of love, but Jung invites us to question this idea. How genuine is love when it requires sacrificing your authenticity? Every relationship we engage in leaves an imprint on our psyche. Some relationships uplift us, others, however, drain us, make us feel insecure, and disconnect us from our essence. This emotional exhaustion is not random or accidental. According to Jung, it is the result of a deep misalignment between our conscious mind and our unconscious self. This disconnect happens when we ignore our inner signals, when we allow external pressures to dictate our lives instead of listening to our own needs. Perhaps this has happened to you. You might be in a relationship that on the surface appears perfect, but deep inside there is a persistent feeling of discomfort and unease that you cannot quite explain. That feeling is not a weakness. It is your unconscious speaking to you, signaling that something is not aligned with your true nature. Ignoring these signals can lead to a state of chronic dissatisfaction. Jung firmly believed that the unconscious does not communicate in direct language. Instead, it speaks through symbols, dreams, and emotions. When something or someone begins to drain your energy, it is not a coincidence. It is an invitation to look deeper, to reflect on what part of yourself you are sacrificing to maintain that connection. Is it your peace, your self-worth, your authenticity? The real challenge, according to Jung, is not to avoid these situations, but to learn how to confront them. Analytical psychology teaches us that every conflict, whether internal or external, is an opportunity for growth. But to grow, we must first make a courageous decision to prioritize our inner peace above all else. This does not mean abandoning relationships altogether. It means learning to set boundaries, to say no when necessary, and to release what no longer serves us. Letting go is not easy. There is a natural resistance to leaving behind the familiar, even when we know it is harmful. This resistance comes from our shadow, the hidden part of ourselves that clings to the comfort of the known, even if it keeps us trapped in cycles of suffering. But Jung reminds us that true transformation happens when we face our shadow, not when we deny its existence. Every time you choose your peace over a relationship that depletes you, you are sending a powerful message to your unconscious. You deserve better. This seemingly small act has a profound impact on how you see yourself and on the kinds of relationships you attract in the future. When you align with your truth, the right people and experiences begin to appear almost as if by magic. One of Jung's most powerful insights is that relationships act as mirrors to our soul. Everything that fascinates, inspires, or even irritates us in another person is, in reality, a reflection of something within ourselves. This concept can be difficult to accept, but Jung invites us to look beyond the surface and ask, what is this experience trying to teach me? When you feel trapped in a draining relationship, the most common reaction is to blame the other person. But Jung believed that true power lies in self-exploration. Ask yourself, why am I allowing this dynamic to continue? What fear or insecurity is preventing me from letting go? These questions are essential for unlocking personal growth. The shadow plays a crucial role here. Many times we are drawn to conflict-ridden relationships because those individuals represent aspects of our own shadow that we have not yet integrated. Recognizing these patterns does not mean accepting mistreatment. It means using these experiences as opportunities for transformation. Jung believed that personal growth does not happen in comfort. It happens in confrontation. This does not mean seeking out conflict, but rather having the courage to face uncomfortable truths about ourselves. When you choose your inner peace, you are not just letting go of what does not serve you. You are also facing your deepest fears, fear of emptiness, fear of loneliness, fear of change. Letting go is an act of immense courage. It requires a deep trust that something better is on its way, even if you cannot yet see it. Releasing is one of the most transformative steps in the journey toward authenticity. This process can be painful at first, but in that empty space where something has been released lies the greatest opportunity of all, the opportunity to be reborn, to rebuild yourself in a way that is more aligned with your true essence. Jung taught us that when you choose to let go, you create space for new experiences, new people, and new opportunities to enter your life. This act of inner cleaning not only transforms your relationships, but also shifts the way you perceive yourself and the world around you. When you choose to prioritize your peace, something powerful happens. You begin to attract people and experiences that reflect that inner state. The most meaningful relationships are often those that challenge us to grow. But there is a crucial difference between a relationship that helps you become the best version of yourself and one that constantly drains your energy. The key lies in discerning between the two and taking action accordingly. Jung emphasized the importance of listening to your intuition, that quiet, knowing voice that always has your best interest at heart. Intuition is not irrational. It is the language of the unconscious. To hear it, you must first learn to silence the external noise and instead pay attention to your emotions, your dreams, and the subtle sensations in your body. When you choose peace, you are strengthening your connection with your intuition and sending a message to your unconscious mind that you trust it. Jung spoke extensively about the concept of the shadow. These suppressed parts of us do not simply disappear. In fact, the more we repress them, the stronger they become, often manifesting in our closest relationships. If you repeatedly find yourself in relationships where you feel undervalued, it may be a sign that somewhere in your shadow you hold a deeply ingrained belief about your own worth. These unconscious beliefs act like magnets, pulling in people and situations that reinforce the same painful narrative. But this is not a punishment. It is an opportunity to heal and to reframe the way you see yourself. Jung challenges us to do the inner work necessary to integrate the shadow. It requires observing our most uncomfortable emotions, recognizing our repetitive patterns, and examining the dynamics in our relationships. One of the greatest gifts of choosing peace is clarity. When you are aligned with your true self, you can see with greater precision which relationships support your growth and which ones do not. This does not always mean severing ties abruptly. It means learning how to establish healthy boundaries. Boundaries are not a form of rejection. They are an act of self-love. Every time you choose to honor your peace, you reinforce the message that you are worthy of respect and harmony. And as you continue on this path, you will find that the more aligned you become with your truth, the more naturally the right people, opportunities, and experiences will gravitate toward you. Letting go is never easy, but it is always worth it, because on the other side of fear, there is something far greater waiting for you, the life you were always meant to live. Jung reminds us that true growth often emerges from discomfort. It is crucial to remember that you are not alone in this process. Everyone faces challenges on their journey toward authenticity. Jung spoke about the importance of individuation, a process through which you become the person you are truly meant to be. As you progress on this path, you will begin to notice shifts in the relationships you attract. People who align with your true essence will start appearing in your life. These relationships will be rooted in mutual respect, support, and shared growth, rather than demanding that you sacrifice parts of who you are just to fit in. Jung also taught us about the power of synchronicity, those moments when it feels as though the universe is conspiring in your favor. These experiences are not mere coincidences. They serve as confirmation that you are on the right path. When you choose inner peace and align with your truth, you begin to experience more of these synchronicities. It is as if the universe responds to your decision to live in coherence with your inner self. As you integrate your shadow and prioritize your inner peace, your perception of the world changes. Jung firmly believed that our external reality is a reflection of our internal state. When you commit to inner work, the experiences you attract will begin to transform as well. This shift does not happen by accident. It is a direct result of your willingness to face your inner shadows and reclaim your authenticity. A crucial lesson we can learn from Jung is that inner peace is not a final destination, but an ongoing practice. It is a continuous choice that requires commitment and self-compassion. There will be days when you feel tempted to revert to old patterns, but in those moments, remember that every choice matters. Another transformative practice is learning to trust in synchronicity. When you prioritize your inner peace and commit to personal growth, you also transform the relationships already present in your life. Not all difficult relationships need to end. Some can improve significantly when you shift your perspective by setting clear boundaries and communicating honestly. However, it is equally important to accept that not all relationships are meant to last. Letting go of these relationships is not a failure. It is an act of self-love. It is a recognition that you deserve to surround yourself with people who support and celebrate your authenticity. When you begin to live in alignment with your true self, something profound starts to happen. You reconnect with your purpose. Jung spoke of individuation as the profound journey through which a person becomes who they are truly meant to be. This process requires breaking free from external expectations and the limiting beliefs that have accumulated over time. When you are aligned with your true purpose, relationships that no longer resonate with your path tend to fade away naturally. At the same time, you will find yourself attracting individuals who share your values and genuinely support your evolution. Jung also emphasized the importance of balancing the opposing forces within ourselves. Inner conflict arises when we deny a part of ourselves in favor of another. The path to inner peace is not about choosing one over the other, but about integrating these opposites into a harmonious balance that reflects your true self. When you achieve this balance, your relationships undergo a transformation. You no longer seek in others what you cannot find within yourself. Instead of depending on external sources, you begin to form relationships from a place of wholeness. Jung's message about the impact of choosing peace over any relationship is a powerful tool for transforming the world around you. Every time you prioritize your emotional and spiritual well-being, you contribute to a more authentic and meaningful environment. Now is your moment to take action. Reflect on the relationships and situations in your life that may be pulling you away from your inner peace. Ask yourself, what can I release to make space for what truly resonates with me? Do not underestimate the power of a conscious decision. Even a small step can set off profound changes. If this message has resonated with you, I invite you to be part of this movement toward authenticity and self-discovery. Share this video with someone who needs to hear these words. Together we can create a community where Jung's teachings serve as a guide to transforming lives. Leave a comment below and let me know what part of this message touched your heart or what action you are willing to take to prioritize your peace. Every interaction, whether it's a comment, a like, or a subscription, helps this content reach more people who are also seeking answers. Remember, transformation starts with you. By choosing peace, you are not only reshaping your inner world, but also influencing the world around you. Thank you for being part of this community. I'll see you in the next video.